Hello everyone, this is Showtime 112. When we think of B-17 Flying Fortress, we usually think of its mid to late war period used by US Army Air Force. It's not commonly known that the first service to use this heavy bomber in combat was in fact the Royal Air Force. They first expressed interest to purchase it already in 1938, but the deal was realized only after the fall of France and the change of political climate in the USA. First shipment included 20 B-17C models, with first examples ready for delivery in April 1941. The airplane was to be operated by No. 90 Squadron and the model was given British designation Fortress 1. B-17 was a heavy bomber designed for daytime bombing, a concept which RAF had already abandoned early in the war. Their own experience, plus the German Luftwaffe experience in the Battle of Britain, clearly showed that medium and heavy bombers were too vulnerable to enemy fighters and anti-aircraft defense in daytime. Americans, on the other hand, believed that large formations with airplanes providing mutual support would still be effective. The British decided to give the concept another chance with American B-17s, but instead of relying on large numbers, they counted on high altitude for protection. This bomber's engines could perform effectively at 25,000 feet, which was 10,000 feet higher than other bombers in RAF service at the time. But to make the B-17 safe from enemy fighters, RAF expected the attacks to be made from 32,000 feet. As we shall see later, this would cause a whole array of problems. The first combat mission flown by RAF B-17s, and by B-17s generally speaking, took place on 8 July 1941. 3 aircraft took off to attack submarine building docks at Wilhelmshaven in Germany. 2 B-17s reached their target and dropped their bombs, but without desired accuracy. One B-17 aborted because of engine problems, and the crew eventually spotted 2 Messerschmitt Bf-109s approaching them. German fighters gave up the chase, not knowing that the bomber's defensive guns had frozen because of high altitude, and that it was practically helpless. On 16 August 1941, 90 Squadron launched 2 raids, with 2 bombers per each raid. 2 headed for Dusseldorf but aborted due to bad weather. The other 2 headed for Brest in France. The first bomber successfully attacked the target from 35,000 feet. The second B-17 attempted an attack from 32,000 feet, but it was then attacked by no less than 7 German fighters. This was the highest interception performed in the war until then. Messerschmitts were attacking the RAF bomber as it was retreating towards England, and dropping its altitude all the way to 6,000 feet. Pilot Officer Sturmey decided to land his damaged airplane at Rowborough near Plymouth. He overshot the runway and the B-17 burst into flames. Final score was 2 crew members dead, 1 seriously wounded, and a total loss of the B-17. This incident clearly showed that high altitude didn't guarantee immunity from enemy fighters. On 6 September 1941, RAF's B-17s took part in another attempt to destroy German pocket battleship Admiral Scheer, operating from Oslo at the time. 4 B-17s took off from Kinloss in Scotland. 1 aborted for engine problems, remaining 3 couldn't find the warship, so they bombed the docks and oil tanks. This meant that the mission would have to be repeated. 2 days later, on 8 September 1941, 4 B-17s again took off from Scotland in an attempt to find the infamous Admiral Scheer. This time, German defenses would be alerted. The biggest threat for the attacking bombers was a fighter unit operating a very unique model of the famous Messerschmitt Bf-109. Germany intended to build an aircraft carrier, Graf Zeppelin. The project was abandoned, but not before its airplane component was developed and built. Junkers 87 and Messerschmitt Bf-109 were given T designation from the German word Träger, meaning carrier. Those airplanes featuring greater wingspan and arrestor hooks were eventually assigned to land-based units, including Jagdgeschwader 77 in southern Norway. When German radars detected intruders, 6 Bf-109s were scrambled to intercept them. Lieutenant Alfred Jacobi was the first to spot one of the B-17s. This machine was flown by a Canadian pilot, Flying Officer David Romans. Jacobi correctly identified the enemy bomber as the Fortress and commenced the attack. He scored his first hits on the starboard side of the rear fuselage. He also received some damage from the B-17's gunners. Jacobi approached for another attack and scored hits in the port wing. Romans B-17 crashed near the village of Bigland in Norway. No parachute was observed. At the same time, other German fighters were attacking B-17 flown by squadron leader Alex Matheson. Gunners managed to damage 2 German fighters, but the B-17 disappeared into clouds and was never heard from again. It apparently crashed into the sea and there were no survivors. Pilot of the 4th B-17, Flight Sergeant Mick Wood, decided to abort the attack after realizing fighter threat was too dangerous. He increased the altitude 34,000 feet and turned back home. He also ordered the crew to prepare for all eventualities, including bailout. The intercom system, however, didn't work well on such high altitudes, and one of the waist gunners only heard "crew, bail out." So he disconnected his oxygen supply and connected a portable bottle. He soon spent the oxygen and passed out. His colleague, who tried to help him, incorrectly connected his own bottle, and he passed out too. After 15 minutes, Woods realized what had happened, so he began to lower the altitude. However, at 29,000 feet, there was a Bf-109 lurking in the clouds. The pilot was Unteroffizier Voita. He attacked once, then veered off. Voita then returned for another attack, damaging the glycol bottle and hitting two semi-conscious gunners, killing one of them. As the B-17 was filling with smoke and losing altitude, its astrodome was also jettisoned. To Voita, it seemed that the airplane was disintegrating, so he aborted the attack and returned to base, claiming a kill. The crippled B-17 still managed to return to base, but it was written off because of extensive damage. Only one of the raiders, a B-17 flown by pilot officer Sturmy, reached Oslo but couldn't find any targets because of cloud cover. RAF's B-17Cs only flew 4 more single-ship missions in Europe, after which they were found useless for daytime bombing. Altogether, they flew 51 sorties, with only 24% claimed partly successful. RAF would operate later models of B-17s during the war, but relied mostly on light bombers for daytime raids. If you liked the video, press the like button. Support the channel on Patreon, join our Discord server, and keep watching Showtime 112.